All right, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Guys, on this channel, we do heart-to-heart talk. We just talk about anything. I analyze, I criticize, I comment on whether it's news or just something in real life that I see happening. So, this channel is really a heart-to-heart talk, an honest talk, a channel about how I see things, channel that I would like my viewers to comment on and tell me what they think. So now, it's almost like a gossip channel, call it so. Anyway, now, what we are going to talk about today, and before we get into it, guys, remember, we're on this channel, we are very respectful. On this channel, we want you to comment. We want you to share your views. We're not fighting on this channel. No, this is a peaceful channel. This is supposed to be a fun channel. So anyway, today, we're going to dive into a recent news story that has sparked a lot of discussion. And this is the deportation of 2 Jamaican women from the Bahamas after pleading guilty to selling them, self. Now, let's be clear from the start. My goal here isn't to take a stance on the morality of selling yourself. Instead, we are going to dissect the arguments and implications presented in this specific case. So guys, hang in there. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, or if you like something sweet, get some ice cream. Even better, get water. So, looking at the legal aspects, the potential counter arguments, and what the story might tell us about broader societal issues. So, stick around as we break down this complex situation. Guys, not go nowhere. Turn right here, so. Do this with me. Okay, let's unpack this news story about the 2 Jamaican women who were arrested, charged, and pleaded guilty to selling them in the Bahamas. They were fined and they are now facing deportation. We know say them expressed remorse in court, and the magistrate emphasized that their actions were dangerous and unacceptable. Now, as we analyze this, there are some crucial questions that doesn't fully answer, but are important to consider for a complete understanding. Now, how did these women enter the Bahamas? Were they legally there initially, perhaps as tourists or workers, or did they enter the country illegally? This information is vital in understanding the immigration aspect of the case. Whether they might deport them in crazy ways, like what happened in America with Donald Trump, who even citizens are gone. So that's why I am saying, were they legally there initially? Or were they trafficked? Were they trafficked there? This is a crucial question. Individuals involved in selling themselves are often vulnerable to exploitation and human trafficking. Now, this fact they pleaded guilty the fact that them plead guilty doesn't automatically rule out the possibility that they were victims rather than simply choosing to engage in this kind of activity. Now, the other question is what may I ask is, what specific law were they charged under? Was it soliciting, loitering, or specific statute? related to selling themselves. Understanding the exact charges helps us understand the legal basis of their arrest and conviction. Another question is, what evidence led to their arrest and guilty plea? Because from the information that I get, all those things were not, it was just brief. Was there concrete evidence, or was there pressure to plead guilty? This goes to the heart of due process. Now, another question is this a common occurrence in the Bahamas? All them questions, I don't know the answer to them. Is there a specific crackdown on selling themselves happening? Contextualizing the case within the broader legal and societal landscape of the Bahamas is important. Remember, may I give you the facts, but me never got to the Bahamas yet. Me don't know the laws of Bahamas. Me just think about those things and ask myself the question, throwing the questions out to you guys. And let's see what happened. Now, were there any resources or support system available to these women? Were they offered legal aid, counseling, or support for potential trafficking victims? Now, let's look at the argument that support the actions taken by the Bahamian authorities based on the information available. The Bahamas, like any sovereign nation, has the right to enforce its law within its borders. Selling self is illegal there, and these women admitted to breaking that law by pleading guilty. Now, government often argue that selling self is harmful to society. They may contend that it contributes to other criminal activities, facilitating exploitation, and poses public health risk. From this perspective, enforcing the law against selling is seen as a way to maintain social order and protect the public. On the other hand, countries have the inherent right to control who enter, stay within their borders, commit a crime, especially one deemed socially undesirable, can be grounds for deportation. This is a standard practice in any country around the world. This is not just Barbados alone, or America alone, or England alone, or wherever, all around the world. You go there, you break them rule, them can deport you. Punishing individuals for breaking the law, including through fines and deportation, can be viewed as a deterrent to others who might consider similar action. Pull up them, but some people still not learn by other people's mistake, Them like to learn by for them own mistake. The idea is that the consequences of breaking the law will discourage others from doing so, but not everybody. Some people. Now, some argue that unregulated sales can exploit vulnerable populations and potentially pose risk to the public, justifying legal intervention. However, there are compelling counter arguments and questions that arise when we look beyond the surface of this case. We need to ask, why were these women engaged in selling? Why them have to go to a different country? That's the thing we can't understand. Somebody coming to your home, invited or uninvited, and you break the rule of them home, them will kick you out. If you go cock up on them chair, then lily white chair, when nobody never cock up on, so them asleep, them a relax, them a watch TV, obviously, they now go want you in the yard, and eventually, them will tell you, say, listen, you cock up on my lily white chair, so you got to go. This is different. You go in somebody home, you go and you obey by the rule. You go in somebody country, you obey by the rules. You don't go there and do crimes. Were they facing severe economic hardship in a Jamaica or even at the Bahamas while them going to sales? Were they struggling to find other employment, focusing solely on the criminal act without considering the underlying causes such as poverty, lack of opportunity, or even desperation can be deeply unjustified? And some will say that no matter how them a suffer, them now go in a sales because them never fall, them never come home and see them. Me not justify it. Me not do it. But at the same time, some of them must have a very good reason. A good reason beyond good reason to do it. Them must see their home and have nothing to eat. They must be living out the street without shelter. Individuals involved in selling are often highly vulnerable to exploitation, human trafficking, and violence. All of them something there. Them risking so much without even thinking. Were these women victims rather than simply criminals? The fact that they plead guilty doesn't automatically negate this possibility. They might have been coerced or felt they had no other option. Or else why would they go to the Bahamas and gone take the chance of getting themselves deported? While these women were charged and are facing deportation, the demand side of selling the clients is often overlooked in such cases. A more comprehensive approach to addressing selling might involve addressing both the individuals providing the service and those creating the demand. Why isn't there mention of any clients being arrested or charged? And there should be also. We also need to question whether fines and deportation are most effective or humane solution. Could there be alternative approaches such as rehabilitation programs, support service to help them find the work, other work, or initiatives aimed at addressing the root cause of poverty and lack of opportunity that might drive individuals into selling? Furthermore, we should consider if there's a potential for disproportionate focus on foreign women. Are Bahamian individuals involved in selling treated differently? Examine whether the application of the law is consistent regardless of nationality. It's important for fairness. Them go all the way, left them here and go all the way. What? Them go there. If you go do those things in other people's country, come on, man. Them could have do better. While not explicitly stated in the article where we get it from, argument could be made that the human rights of the individuals involved, particularly if there's any indication they were trafficking or coerced into selling. While it is true that they broke the law, a counter-argument is that the law itself or its application in this specific context might be flawed or fail to consider the complexities of the situation. Simply stating they broke the law can be a way to avoid engaging with the potential underlying issues and vulnerabilities. We must ask, is deporting two individuals truly addressing the broader issue of selling in the Bahamas? It might just be two Jamaicans, but maybe them have contacts and connection there. So, what about the other people? Does it tackle the demand, the potential of exploitation, or the socio-economic factors that contribute to it? Critics, would argue that this is a superficial solution that doesn't get to the root of the problem, refuting the deterrence argument. Will deporting these two women truly deter others if the underlying socio-economic factors that drive people into selling remain unaddressed? If people are desperate, they may continue to engage in such activities regardless of the risk of deportation. So what can we take away from this story? This case highlights the complex intersection of law enforcement, immigration, and deeply rooted social issues. It's far from a simple case of right and wrong, and there are many layers to consider. While the Bahamian authorities acted within their legal framework by enforcing these laws and immigration policies, the case raises important questions about the effectiveness and fairness of this approach. Is focusing solely on the individual involved in selling the most impactful way to address the issue, or should the focus be broader? It is crucial to consider the potential vulnerability and all the factors put together. Just so. Ultimately, this case serves as a powerful reminder that issues like selling are often intertwined with poverty, migration, and the potential for exploitation. It is a complex challenge that requires a lot of understanding and potentially more comprehensive solution than simply fines and deportation. All right, everyone. That wraps up our analysis for this news story. It is a tough one, and it raises a lot of important questions about law, immigration, and the underlying social issues that can drive people into difficult situations. What are your thoughts on this case? Do you think the response was fair and effective? Or do you believe that there were other factors that should have been considered? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more in-depth discussions on current events. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.